Okay. Let's get started. Switch. Have to switch. Hold up. Let's do this one for now. There we go. I'm gonna move you over here. Hey. I'm wearing my own merch. Look at that. This is purple though. It doesn't show purple on the webcam for whatever reason. Let me see if I can change. I wonder if I can. I don't want. Do I have to put it all the way over here? Oh yeah, there we go. That's better. Yeah. But I like to have a little bit of blue in there. Not like that, but you know. Let's do like here. Still not as purple, but it's all good. Hi, Brenton. Heck yeah. You drug purchased it? Which one did you get? Just like the regular t-shirt? Or was it like because this one's a comfort tee that I bought more recently. I do have like the regular classic t-shirts, but the comfort tee, like, this is more my style, I realize. It's just like, the material it's just like a little bit, how do I say it? It's just like a little bit more comfortable, comfort tee, but like, I think it stretches a little bit better. I think that's probably like what I'm thinking of. Like it feels like it conforms better to like my body, so. Princeton! 새벽이에요? Oh my gosh, why are you still awake? Bro! Tex, hey! Nice to see you too! I see all you guys commenting on my videos. I really appreciate it. You don't remember buying it. Charles. Oh snap! Oh yeah, I don't have the now playing thing. There we go. Okay, so we'll probably get started after this song's done, which is like another 30-ish seconds. Hey, Z Symphony's here. What's up? Oh yeah, I need to post it in my Discord. I haven't done that yet, so I should do that. Stream announcements. There we go. Ooh. Tag everyone. There we go. Make that a little bit lower. I've been good. Yeah, just doing a lot of private lessons. Private music lessons, and also trying to do, obviously, covers every week if possible. This week, I've kind of gotten myself into a dilemma because I'm covering KK Sonata, which is a piano, the air check is piano only, and the piano itself sounds beautiful. And I filmed and recorded already the piano part, but I'm like torn, and I I like the piano solo, but I also think it would sound really cool if I added strings to it. But I don't want to just choose between one or the other. So I'm gonna like, I think what I'll do is this week I'll release a piano solo, and then maybe next week, so it gives me more time to like arrange the strings around it and stuff. Next week I'll do like the normal version, like the TeraCMusic version of, you know, me adding strings. So I think that's what I'll do, because I definitely need more time. There's no way that I'm able to arrange the strings and record it all by like Saturday. It's not happening. So I'll probably just do piano for the Saturday, and then hopefully next week I'm gonna be out of town though, so I might have to release it like Friday or something. We'll see. But next week hopefully I'll have like the full version, if you will. So alright, we got like 40 seconds. I know I was gonna start after Julia, but I took too much time. So I love it. Yes. And it just kind of hangs on that dominant there. Okay, so let's get started. I have to move you guys over to this monitor. Actually, I'll move let me move this over here. I'll move the chat over here so I can just kind of glance at it like that. And then I'm gonna have, you can hear that. So let's do this. So today we are going to learn about harmonic progression. That sounds fun, right? So this is a bit more advanced, but I'm going to try to break it down so that it is easy to grasp and kind of just easy to digest the best I can. If any of you guys have any questions, or if I'm going too fast, like just let me know. But definitely see if you can have some paper in front of you, if you can take some notes, because I want you to be writing stuff down. I'm going to be asking you, you know, like the notes for certain chords and things like that. So I want you to at least have some like paper and pencil or pen so you can write down your answers and then let me know how you did. So let's move over to this. Oh, no worries, Tex. Thank you so much for just stopping by. I appreciate it. Let me go here. And there we go. All right, so we are going to go through harmonic progression / just harmonies, like chord progressions kind of deal. So first we're going to do a little bit of review, because it's been a while since I've done a Theory Thursday video. So I kind of want to pick your brains a bit and see if you remember what I've been instructing and what you've been learning the past couple of months. So, Ro. Yeah, I don't know if I would believe you, because, like, you write stuff down all the time when you're working, but that also could be when you're at work, so, hey, Flavor, what's up? Yeah. No, that's okay, Z. There's already a test. It's just a review. It's just a review. You're not being graded. It's just, you know, just to kind of test yourself, right? It's not like a, you know, oh, you got this wrong. You know, you don't know anything. So, oh, Tex, thank you so much for that. That was so sweet of you. Thank you. And I hope you have like a really great day. I know internet being poop is not fun, so I totally understand. But thank you so much. Really appreciate it. All right, so the first question is what mode? Okay, oh, you have to think back on modes. Modes are fun though. But you have to think, what mode is a major, it should say scale, not chord, it's major scale, is a major scale with a raised or augmented fourth. Okay, so if you want to kind of think of it as, right? Let's just say like C major. You should be able to hear that, right? Yeah. So a raised fourth. So normal, like if we're doing C major, the C major scale is just all the white keys, right? Okay, so this one has a raised fourth. So instead of having this note, we have that note. Okay, so I'll play it. Kind of interesting, right? So I want you to take a little bit of time, try to think of what mode that is, okay? Okay, and in terms of the modes, we have a bunch. We have Ionian, we have Dorian, we have Phrygian, we have Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and then we have Locrian. Those are the 7 modes. So you have a 1 in 7 chance of getting it right. And you could get a better chance if you know which modes are based on the major scale and which modes are based on the minor scale, okay? Okay, I'm gonna give you like 10 more seconds to figure it out. So remember the Ionian is just the regular major scale, and then Aeolian is just the regular minor scale. So it's not going to be any of those, right? Because this actually has a changed interval, right? The fourth is raised, okay? It's going up from what we're used to. All right, so here is the answer. It is Lydian mode. So Z, you get like 50-50 shot with that. Good. So Lydian is the one that has the fourth, the raised fourth. So, example of that is, what is it? Does that ring a bell? Hold on. See, this is where we're having 25 keys is not enough. But yeah, it's from Super Mario Galaxy, I think. Bro, I need you to help me. Space Junk Galaxy or something? There's the normal fourth. But here is... Oops. So here's the race. Here's the normal fourth. Yeah, Space Junk Galaxy. There it is. But yeah, that's in Lydian, which is kind of cool. Next one. What mode? Good, we're still doing modes. What mode is a minor... Why do I keep saying chord? Scale. Minor scale. With a raised sixth. Okay. So... You have to think your minor scales. Okay. So... We'll just do A minor, just an example, because again, A minor uses all of the white keys. So start on A. Okay, so here's the normal chord scale. Okay, A. Now this one has a raised sixth. Okay, so... Okay, so that's how it sounds. It's kind of interesting. Okay, so I'm not gonna give you as much time for this one. But yeah, so again, you have to think of which modes are based on the major scale, which modes are based on the minor scale, and you're able to kind of narrow it down that way. Z Symphony Mixolydian is actually based on the major scale, so it's not going to be that one, but that's a good guess. Oops. Okay, so I'll give you like 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. The answer is Dorian mode. I'm trying to remember Scarborough Fair, but Scarborough Fair is in Dorian. Yeah, I don't remember the beginning. Something like that, but then this next part is... which is kind of cool. Alright, next one. Alright, so I'm going to give you a picture of a chord. Okay, and I want you to tell me what inversion of the chord it is. Because we did go over triads and inversions, like I think the first theory video I made. So here's the chord. Okay, so we have an E, we have a G, okay, and we have a C. Okay, so that's the chord. So it's not in root position. Root position would have it nice and stacked on top of each other. But this one is not like that. So this is an actual, an inversion of a certain chord. You're taught all the modes based on the major scale? That's kind of confusing. Because, like, I don't like that. Because then you have to think of, like, all the ones that are in the minor, like, having a lowered third and lowered sixth and, like, all that stuff. So that seems like too much work. Like, if you're able to kind of separate it between major, what's, like, really close to the major scale and then really close to the minor scale, I think it's a lot easier. Because then you only have to change, like, one or maybe two things to get to that mode from either the major or minor scale. All right, yeah, good job. It is the first inversion of C major. Awesome. Nicely done. All right, so now we're going to get into harmonies and harmonic progression. So first we're going to do a little bit of an overview of harmony. This is kind of self-explanatory, but I do think it's a good introduction at least before we get into the nitty-gritty of it. So music, if you think of music as a huge category, it's usually split off into different parts, right? We have the melody of the music, we have the rhythm of the music, and then we also have the harmony of the music, right? Makes sense. Then there are multiple types of harmony that you can use if you're composing or arranging, doing anything like that. If you're just making music, there's a lot of different, I guess, different things that you can use and utilize to make some kind of music. So we have diatonic harmony, which is what we're going to be covering today. We also have non-diatonic harmony. And then finally we have atonal harmony. No one really gets into atonal that much because it was a very interesting period of time where you had like serialism and you had a lot of atonal 12-tone music, and that was more science and math based versus having a certain emotion. They kind of just wanted to see like, oh, if it's symmetrical, right? If you have something that's symmetrical in music, does symmetry in music equal it sounding good? Because we think symmetry, usually like if our faces are more symmetrical, then we're supposed to be considered more attractive. And symmetry in nature can also be very beautiful and pleasing to the eye. So composers were curious on whether or not symmetry in music and using like math and things like that, if that would actually translate well to when you actually have like a musical idea or some musical piece. So that, I don't really think many people use atonal harmony that much. It is there. It has been used in the past, so that's why I threw it up here. But yeah, we're just going to be focusing on diatonic harmony, which is the simplest, most common type of harmony that you'll hear in most music nowadays. So that's probably the most significant and important thing to know. So diatonic harmony, so it's when all of the harmony is part of that same master scale, right? So if we're in C major, right, all of the harmony that we have is part of the C major key or C major scale. So we'll have like no accidentals or anything like that. It'll just be based on that scale. Okay, non-diatonic harmony is, well, something that's not part of that scale, right? So we have things called borrowed chords, where we'll take a chord from a different key and just temporarily just kind of use it, borrow it, right? And input it into our music just to have something that sounds a little bit different from like all diatonic harmony, because diatonic harmony is nice, but it can get kind of monotonous and boring sometimes. So adding a non-diatonic chord here and there can really throw off the listener in a good way and make them be like, ooh, that was interesting. I wasn't expecting that. That was cool. That kind of thing. So it's a good, I guess, a good skill to have if you kind of want to separate yourself from the rest of the composers and arrangers. Then we have atonal, which is, I did discuss this. It does not have a tonal center. That's why it's called atonal, right? Not tonal. Schoenberg is a really good example. He liked to describe his music as 12-tone music instead. So you had to use all 12 pitches in the scale, right? Or in the octave, I should say. You had to use all 12 pitches in the octave in the music, and you had to use them all up before you could repeat a pitch. So you can imagine that it's probably not sounding the most pleasant, right? If you have to use all of those before you can play the C again. You know what I mean? So it's interesting, though. It's really interesting. All right, let's move on to diatonic harmony. So again, don't worry too much about the other stuff I said. It's not important right now. We'll kind of focus more on this aspect of harmony because, it is simpler to understand. Atonal harmony used in Chrono Trigger. That is a good question for Sab Irene. But Chrono Trigger is definitely well known for using modes. Chrono Trigger... Yeah, so... Oops, wrong one. Right? Make us a theme. That right there. So... That's Phrygian, actually. That's a mode. Then we also have the... Sorry. So, Millennial Fair is in Mixolydian. We have a flat 7, because we're in D major. Instead of having a C sharp. We have a da 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 da. So that's a flat 7. So that is a Mixolydian. And then yeah, there's a bunch of others that definitely Sab Irene would know more because she's super into Chrono Trigger. I definitely like Chrono Trigger, and I like that I can use Chrono Trigger music as example for certain modes. But Sab would definitely know if there's been anything atonal. When I played the game, I didn't notice anything completely atonal, but there are some aspects of the music that is not common, or kind of like what you said, unorthodox. So it's possible. It's possible. But I don't know how far that went, because atonal harmony can be very difficult to listen to, honestly. So dysfunctional harmony. Yeah, that's a good term. Yeah. Okay, so diatonic harmony. Good question though, Trap. Thank you for the question. Diatonic harmony, like I said, it's the most common form of harmony. You're going to hear this and see this a lot in everyday music. And, same thing, video game music, pop music, electronic music. They might have some embellishes here and there and add a couple of extra notes just to kind of fill it out a little bit more. But the base structure is going to be derived from diatonic harmony. So it's when you have all these chords that are part of that key or scale of the song, right? Because every song usually has a key or a tonal center, that is, it's kind of centered towards, revolves around. So it's when you use all the chords that are available to you within that particular key. So, for example, the key of C major, again, C major is the simplest. It's all the white keys on the keyboard, so it's very easy to learn. So if you think of the key of C major, we have different chords that can be used in C major, right? So I want you to take some time and try to work through this answer, okay? So we have, let me go down an octave. So obviously in the key of C major, we have C major as a chord, right? You can use C major triad and chord in the key of C major, absolutely. But then you have to kind of go up by step to the next white key, which would be D, and then you have to do the same thing. So kind of like that, and kind of just go up each note. So you have C major. Now we have to look at this one. Hey, crit! It held your held your comment for review because you did that word. I'm fine with it, but YouTube's like, So we have C major, then we have this chord. So let me actually show my keyboard because that'll probably help a bit. So C, E, G, and then we have this chord. Yeah, no worries, crit. So this is D, F, and A. Then we have the next chord, E, G, B. And then the next chord, F, A, C. Then I have to go here, G, B, D. And then A, C, E. And then the last one's going to be B, D, F. Which that sounds a little interesting, right? So yeah, it takes a little bit of time to go through those. But this is what you should have come up with. And Z Symphony actually got it perfectly. So we have C major. Sorry. C major. Then D minor. Then we have E minor. F major. Then we have G major. Or it can do G7 if you want, because that's the fifth of the key, right? A lot of times you'll hear this extra note added, and it really makes you want to go to right? So that's why they like to add that. But yeah, G major or G7. Okay, then you have A minor, and then you have B diminished. So, Saria, what's up? Okay, so we're gonna do another example, but we're gonna do it in minor, okay? So how about we think of G minor, okay? So let me pull up my pianissimo again. Okay, so G minor. Okay, so same thing. You have to think of the keys that are available to you in G minor. So aside from two black keys, which is a B flat and an E flat, everything else is white key. No, I love it. Keep doing it, C. Okay, so the next one would be this chord. Then the next one would be this one. Then next one. Then next one. Is that right? No. Sorry. That's it. And then that one. And then we're back at the G major. Why keep doing that? Oh my gosh. There we go. Sayan, what's up? Glad you're here. Yeah, so we're in G minor right now, and we're trying to find all of the chords that we can use in the key of G minor. Okay, so this is what you guys should have. I know I might be going through this a little bit quickly, but we're gonna kind of go through this a little bit. Yeah, you got most of it. No, that's okay. Nice. So yeah, we have G minor. So the next one, we don't say A minor diminished. We just say diminished. A diminished. Okay. Then I'm actually going to go down an octave. Okay, so A diminished. B flat major. Nice. Then C minor. Good. And then D minor. Okay, now this one is interesting. You can do D major or D7 if you want. A lot of pieces like Bach and Vivaldi and Mozart as well, they will definitely use major, the major 5, because it still resolves to, oh sorry, you can still use the major 5 to go to the tonic again, which the tonic is just the G minor in this case, the tonal center. But you can also do, that's absolutely fine as well. Then next one we have E flat major, right? And then F major. Right? It's kind of cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So, yeah, very well done, guys. So in minor scales, 6 is the one you can change to a 7th instead of 5, like in major scales. So minor scales, you can still, it's still the 7th. So it's still the 5th. So like, okay, we're in G minor. The 5th, the 5, right? The 5th in G minor would be D minor normally, right? But you can change this F to F sharp. Yeah, so then it becomes the leading tone to the G. So you can do that. No, that's okay. But you can definitely still do a regular F natural. And actually alternating between the two is another good way to kind of just make things a little bit different when you're composing or arranging. If you keep using D minor throughout your piece, or you keep only using D major, again, it can get kind of monotonous and boring. So if you can kind of switch it up and use maybe D major most of the time, but then maybe for the very last part of the song or the piece, you do a D minor instead to the 1. That would, again, make the viewers be like, or the listeners think, whoa, that was different. I was expecting that, but I got that instead, you know? So there's so many different ways to kind of grab their attention and keep them entertained throughout your piece. So that's one of many ways you can do that. It's all right. I'll take a little bit more time for the next one, okay? But yeah, so basically, I kind of explained this already. But if you think of the 5 chord, the major 5 chord, that F sharp is not in G minor normally, right? Unless you think of it as like melodic or harmonic minor, right? Oop. I'll do that one more time. You could consider it like that, and then you have that F sharp already. But most of the time we think of it as a natural minor, and then you can borrow the major 5 from G major, right? But you're taking it and using it in the G minor instead of G major. And it's used so much now, like, especially in classical and Baroque style music, that is used so often that it's just kind of become another part of the diatonic harmony, if you will, because so many composers have used it, and so it's kind of just become more common, and we're kind of used to hearing it. But yeah, I also did mention you can consider the G minor as like a harmonic minor. If you do it that way, then it definitely is part of the diatonic, right? Because you have that F sharp in the G harmonic minor scale. So, all right. So, I'll let you guys just read that because I basically said that already. I will say one of the piano pieces that I have made, one of my originals, Seasons in Key, actually uses this kind of maybe like device, if you want to call it that. There's a better word for it, but my English is like so much worse now. But I basically used this where I did the major 5 chord for a lot of it. Oh, see, this is where I need a bigger keyboard. I need to bring the piano around. Hold up. There it is. Let's try to get to that chord. So it actually is like a 5/7, a dominant 7. And then it goes back to that chord. So I used that for the majority of the piece, that major 5/7. And then the very end, I actually do like that, which is the minor 7, to resolve. Sorry. I definitely need to bring my piano for better examples, but that's just like one way to, again, use both minor and major 5 for your pieces. This really only applies to when the tonic or the key itself is in a minor key, because you don't really hear a minor 5 when you're in a major key. So this is really kind of reserved just for minor keys. So, yep, already explained that. And the listener will definitely tell that you did something different because, again, it's not what they were expecting. If you kind of build it up of having that major 5 chord the entire time, and then you do something different, they'll definitely notice. But yeah, way to add diversity. So let's kind of go through the diatonic harmony even further. Okay, so this is where I'm going to give you a lot of time to do this, all right? So first what we're going to do is list out all the chords in a particular key, and then we're going to actually have you write down the 3 notes, the 3 pitches of each triad, of each chord, right? Then I want to take each note of the scale, okay? And then I want you to find all the chords that have that note in that triad. And then that way you know that you can use like these 3 chords for the letters, for the note C, right? If you have C in the melody, you can use these 3 chords. If you have F in the melody, you know, then you can use these 3 chords, that kind of thing. And it kind of helps you have a nice guide and just a reference to look at when you're composing or arranging and you want to change up the chord progression a bit. You say, well, you know, this sounds really nice, but I want to use a different chord. And then you can actually look at this reference and be like, okay, well, I can use this chord instead, or I can use this chord instead, and it would still work because it still has the same note in the triad as it, you know, like the melody. So hopefully this will help a lot when you're trying to be a little bit more creative with your arrangements or composing something completely new. It'll be a really great tool to have for sure. So we're going to go through diatonic harmony only for now, right? If you guys like this, then we can do non-diatonic harmony after. But just diatonic harmony for now, because it's the simplest and most common. So we're gonna do the simplest key, C major, okay? So I want you to remember, okay, if you have it written down or not, you should try to think of it now. What chords do we have for C major again? Okay, I'll give you some time to figure this out. I should probably put some music on, huh? Very low volume. No, not that one. That's a nice calming one. There we go. And you guys, when you're done and you found the chords, just like type done, so I know how many of you have actually finished this question. Yes, it's Pokemon. It's my Slumbering Weald cover. Give you guys a little bit longer if needed. And those who are watching this back, the VOD, feel free to pause if you need more time, okay? That's what's nice about watching a video versus having a live stream, right? Is you're able to pause if you need more time. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oops. Be nice if I did that. There we go. So you should have C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major or G7, if you want to add that as the dominant 7, A minor, and then B diminished. Okay, so now we're going to break it down further into the pitches, okay? So write these down, if you can. So we're going to take each chord that you have here, okay? C major, D minor, E minor. We're going to take all those pitches, and I want you to write down each chord's pitches. Okay, or each, like, the notes. So C major triad, right? There's 3 notes. So what 3 notes are in the C major chord? Okay, I want you to write that down. Okay, so you should have C, E, and G. Very good. Let's do the next one. D minor triad. Okay, give you a couple seconds to write that one down. Okay, again, 3 notes in D minor. Good job. D, F, and A. All right, next one, we got E minor triad. Yeah, pretty much, Saiyan. Right, you got E, G, and B. We are basically just going up the scale, right, in order, so it makes sense. It's kind of like almost alternating in a sense. Okay, continued. Okay, let's look at F major. No worries, thank you so much for stopping by. I can't read your name, but I appreciate it. Hope you have a good night. Very nice. Yeah, we got F, A, and C for F major. Okay, next one, we got G major. Okay, and then if you want, like, do the 3 notes in G major and then do parentheses and do that 4th note, that would be in G7. Okay? That almost spilled. Alright. G, B, D, and then in parentheses we have F. Very well done. We got 2 more. A minor. Good job, Saiyan. Yeah, it's A, C, and E. Awesome. Okay, last one. We have B diminished. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. Diminished. Okay. So diminished, think of a minor chord. So think of B minor. Okay. But the 5th of B minor, so that high note of the triad, is going to be lower 1/2 step. You're going to lower it by 1/2 step. That's what diminished is from. Because if you have... That's not going to work with the music playing. It's almost over. But when you have, even if you just think of the interval of like the 5th, anything that's a perfect interval, right? Or even... any of these. Those are all perfect 5ths. But to make it... diminished, you have to lower that high note to that. Doesn't really sound too pleasing, but this is a diminished 5th. Okay, so if you were to do... Right, here's a minor. This is just A minor. Just an example. A minor. A diminished would sound like that instead. Good job. Yes, it is B, D, and F. Awesome. Proud of you guys. Alright. So again, these are all part of C major, right? C major scale, if you will. All of these notes that we have up here are just the white keys on the keyboard. They're all part of C major. Awesome. Okay. Now we're going to look at each note in the scale. Okay. We're going to start with C. We're just going to go up. And then I want you to write down what chords you can use for each note. Okay, so you have to kind of do like a matching. Like which chords have C in them? Which chords have D in them? Of the 3 notes that you listed out. Okay? So let's start with C. What chords can you use for C? There should be 3 of them. Yeah, no worries, Saiyan. Anytime. If any of you guys have any questions or need clarification, please just let me know. That's why I'm here, okay? Good. There should be one more. Nice. So I'm using Roman numerals for this, okay? But basically what Z Symphony said is right. So the 1 chord would be C major, the 4 chord would be F major, and then the 6th chord would be A minor. Okay, so when you have, in case you guys don't know, uppercase means major, lowercase means minor, okay? And then you kind of think Roman numerals, so 1 would be C, 2 would be D, 3 would be E, 4 would be F, 5, G, 6, A, 7, B, okay? They use Roman numerals because you can actually, once you get a hang of this, you can use the Roman numerals and apply it to any key. So you don't have to just write down C, F, and A. You can write down 1, 4, 5, or 1, 4, 6, and it'll apply to any major key, right? It could be C major, could be D major, no matter what. If you start on that tonic, you can use the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 6 chord, okay? So that's why they kind of use that, because it's easier and more universal than trying to write down the actual, like, chord names themselves. But however you are comfortable with is absolutely fine. All right, how about we do D? Okay, so still in C major, but D is our melody. So what chords can we use that also have D in them? And there's a motorcycle. Yeah, pretty much. So like usually the start of a measure or something, if you have a very strong center around a certain note in the melody, then that's when you would try to find what chords can I use that would fit this, right? Sean, you're so close. Good job. We got 2, right? Minor 2. Big 5, right? Big V. So we got the 5, and then we've got the 7. So remember how the 7 is B, and B was that term diminished? So for diminished, we do this little circle next to it. That's what diminished means. Okay? So 2 is D. The 5 is, oh my gosh, G. And then the 7 is B. Good job, though, Sean. You got 2 out of the 3. Well done. Yeah, so you have to do the lowercase for the diminished. Because if you think about it, between the 1 and the 3 in the interval, it's always a minor third in diminished chords. So that's why we lowercase it. But then to further say, but the 5th is also lowered, you add that little circle. Awesome. Good job, though. All right, let's try E. E should be easy now. Ooh, augmented chord with Roman numerals. I think, because it's been a while, but I think you do, instead of the circle, you do a plus sign. I'm pretty sure. But let me actually look that up real quick just to make sure. Yes. Augmented triad is a plus. And then the diminished is that little circle. So, no. I think it's still lowercase for an augmented triad. You're asking really good questions. Hold on. I'm almost positive that it'd still be lowercase. Yeah. No, actually, hold on. Let me see. Is there an example here where it has a plus? It actually might be uppercase. It's because augmented is not... It's not nearly as common as diminished. So that's why it's not something that I remember off the top of my head. But it's looking like you would do a plus and do the uppercase. Based on Wikipedia. Is saying that you would do an uppercase and then you would do the plus. As the superscript. Interesting. Good job, yes. Got the major 1, the minor 3, and the minor 6. Nice. Okay, F. I'll make this a little bit louder. Super chill. All right, F. Oops. There you go. Good job, Sean. Yeah, I'm sure you can't really do that little circle thing in the chat, so that's fine. Just if you're writing it down as well, make sure you do that circle. But good job. Yeah, you got the minor 2, we got the major 4, and then we got the diminished 7. Right, so that is D, F, and then we've got B. All right, got just like a couple more. Okay, so let's do G. Let's finish this off strong. No, it's okay. You can't, I don't think you can really do it in the chat, so. Same circle for degrees. Do we have that circle on our keyboard? Do I have it? I don't think I have it on my keyboard. Yeah, no, I don't see it. Oh, the Spanish keyword. Yeah, if you're on mobile, then you'd be able to access it. But if you're on computer or laptop, I don't think you're able to do it, so. But yeah, you can just use the degree one if you're on mobile. That's fine. Good job. Yeah, you guys are doing great. We got the 1, the 3, and the 5. So we got C, we got E minor, And then we got G major. Awesome. Okay, 2 more. So let's do A. Nice. Sorry. Also, yeah, this is supposed to be a 4, not a 6. So give me 1 second. Let me actually fix that. Because I always, for whatever reason, I'm like, I always make this mistake. Between the 4 and the 6, I always like type out 6 on accident or 4 on accident when I mean the other one. There we go. Fixed it. Let me go back. There we go. I mean, if you have to go to class, go to class. By all means, don't let me hold you. I'm not gonna be, I think this is close to the end of the PowerPoint though, so a really good job. Let's do the last one. We got B, okay? True. You could think of it that way. You're in my class right now. Okay, I'm gonna do like 10 more seconds. Oh, okay. I get it. No, there wasn't. It was just the, yeah, I just read it incorrectly. Oh, you did the circle! Nice! Yeah, good job. We got the minor 3, got the major 5, and then we got the 7 diminished. Awesome! Literally, I said the same thing that I put in the PowerPoint. But yeah, if you take this little guide reference and use it. Oh god, I hate how bright my violin sounds there. But if you use this for your compositions or arrangements, you will always have a nice sounding harmony backing your melody. So, okay, so let's kind of quickly go through this, because if you think about it, the melody, you know, the melody usually will move faster than the chords, right? That kind of makes sense. Sometimes you have the chord for like 1 measure or half a measure, and then the melody, sometimes you got 1/8 notes going, so the melody is moving quite quickly. And that's absolutely fine, right? It'd be really boring if the melody and the chords changed at the same rate. So, in the melody though, you will basically have these notes that are not technically part of the chord. They're still in the scale, but they're not part of the chord, right, of those 3 notes. So we call those particular pitches non-chord tones. And then they're still part of the scale, but they usually will lead to a different pitch or chord. Okay? So, I'll wait for this to end so that I can give you some examples. Okay. Now, so, for example, we have, let me think. So I have, that's not part of this, the chord, right? But we have, that's also not part of it either. Then, right? Again, not part of the chord, but it's still part of the scale. Oop. Kind of like that. So just think of it that way, right? We have a lot of notes that are going stepwise. So you can have that happen and then have the chord stay kind of more stagnant. So, whoops, I keep doing that. There we go. Yeah, can you imagine only using the 3 pitches in the melody that correspond to the chord? Oh, sorry. Like, that'd be so boring. Only having 3 notes in the melody to correspond with the chord, right? So that's why we kind of have these non-chord tones that usually either pass through to the next chord tone, or they, you know, they have different functions depending, and it usually will revolve still around that same chord center. Right? That's fine. That's also fine, right? Because it kind of blends together. You still can tell that it's in D major. It makes sense and it matches. Okay. But yeah, we have like passing tones. We have neighbor tones. We have appoggiatura. We have escape tones. These are all just for the melody when we're trying to explain what's happening in the melody and how, I guess, how it can add more variety to the melody, but still have it be part of that chord, whatever chord it's part of. Okay. Anyone have any questions? Also, let me know if you're good with this lesson as is, or if you want me to go on to maybe even doing the non-chord tones. I should have a PowerPoint for that somewhere. I would just have to find it, but I don't want to overwhelm you guys because, yeah, it can get to be a lot, especially in one sitting. So let me go to this. But yeah, let me know. So that's the end of that PowerPoint. Sounds good. Thank you for stopping by, guys. Really appreciate it. Maybe next time, if I do this next week, which I might not, I don't know. But maybe next time we can go into the actual non-chord tones. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I have things I need to do too, so. So yeah, maybe I'll make a note to maybe do like the escape tone, passing tone, neighbor tone, appoggiatura, like all those things, suspension. I think that would be really cool. And it's not super difficult. It's really just about the pattern between the note before it and then the note after it. So it's kind of like you have to view it in the movement of how it reaches that note and comes off of that particular note, and then that note will be considered like a passing tone or escape tone or whatever. So a little bit simpler, but there is quite a lot of vocabulary and different types of non-chord tones. So I think it would still take up like maybe half hour, 45 minutes. So I think that would still be a good one. Oh yeah, no problem, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by and for like even like working through the stuff with me. I really appreciate it because it'd be kind of boring to teach everything but not have anyone participate. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I am going to go now. But I might stream. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream later. Twitch. I usually do streams on Twitch, just so you guys know. I don't really do, like, music theory stuff on Twitch. I kind of reserve the music theory Thursdays for YouTube, but, I sometimes will play video games on stream. Sometimes I'll do, like, arranging streams where I actually am working on a cover on Twitch, so you guys can kind of be part of that process with me, which I think is kind of cool. So yeah, if you guys want to see me more often than just on YouTube doing my covers, then definitely hop over to my Twitch, because that's where I'm a little bit more active, but not super consistent with it. Getting better with it though. So yeah, no, thank you guys so much. I'm so happy that you are appreciating these streams and the videos, because it doesn't take a lot of time for me to do. And, you know, again, if I'm able to help other people, then that makes me happy. That's all that it's about. Oh my gosh. I don't know if that was someone. I don't know what that was. Is that someone following my Twitch maybe? Thank you so much. I don't have the Twitch alerts on here because this is technically for YouTube, but I guess they still come through on OBS somehow. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. I will talk to you, well, probably Saturday when I release the KK Sonata piano solo. Okay, that's what it was. Thank you for following C Symphony. I appreciate it. But yeah, so I'll see you guys Saturday, probably Saturday morning, my usual premiere upload time. And then we'll kind of go from there. Hopefully next week I'll have the actual string and piano version of the KK Sonata. So I hope you look forward to that. Can't wait to share it with you. And I'll talk to you guys in a few days.